In 672 AD, an empire deployed a weapon so terrifying that entire fleets burned in minutes. It couldn't be put out with water. It burned on the sea itself, and then the formula was deliberately destroyed. This is the story of Greek fire. To the citizens of Constantinople, this weapon was known simply as liquid fire, sea fire, or sticky fire. Medieval chronicles and illuminated manuscripts preserve the memory of a substance that defied the natural laws of combat. When sprayed from warships or hurled in clay casings, this mixture produced an intense blaze that resisted conventional firefighting. Attempting to extinguish the flames with water only made them spread faster. This unpredictable behavior transformed both naval warfare and land sieges, turning wooden defenses into liabilities. Yet, despite centuries of documented military dominance, the exact chemical recipe of this historic liquid remains an unresolved puzzle. In 672 AD, as the expanding Arab Caliphate pushed toward the heart of the Byzantine Empire, a Syrian architect and engineer named Kallinikos fled his home in Heliopolis. Seeking refuge in Constantinople, he presented Emperor Constantine IV with an invention designed to save the city from imminent naval encirclement. The earliest textual anchor for this moment comes from the 9th century chronicler Theophanes the Confessor, who recorded that Kallinikos manufactured sea fire to protect the imperial capital. That same year, a hostile Arab fleet sailed into the Sea of Marmara, threatening the sea walls of Constantinople. Constantine IV ordered the deployment of his newly modified siphon-bearing warships. When the Byzantine galleys engaged the enemy, they projected Kallinikos' pressurized liquid across the water. The target ships were engulfed in flames so quickly and violently that the remaining Arab vessels broke formation and retreated. This first recorded clash transformed the weapon from an experimental formula into the empire's ultimate defense, altering Mediterranean naval strategy in a single afternoon. The true genius of this technology lay not only in the secret liquid, but in the mechanical engineering designed to project it safely. At the center of this naval system was the dromon, a fast, oared galley modified to carry heavy, specialized machinery without losing stability. Byzantine shipwrights mounted bronze siphons directly onto the prows of these warships. Below the decks, a complex apparatus of sealed bronze vats, hand-operated piston pumps, and iron pipes acted as a pressurized delivery system. To fire, crew members heated the chemical mixture before forcing the pressurized liquid through the bronze siphon, launching a continuous stream toward enemy targets. Alongside these ship-mounted systems, Byzantine military manuals, like the Tactica of Leo VI, describe portable handheld units called cheirosiphons, which allowed infantry to wield the weapon during sieges. Soldiers also hurled clay grenades filled with the incendiary mix, designed to shatter upon impact. According to medieval illustrations in the Madrid Skylitzes manuscript and modern maritime archaeology, this physical hardware was treated as an imperial monopoly, guarded just as tightly as the chemical formula itself. In the chaos of medieval naval combat, wood and tar were already highly flammable, but this weapon introduced a terrifying anomaly. Historical reports describe a flame that survived contact with the sea. Instead of extinguishing, the liquid continued to burn directly on the water's surface, creating moving sheets of fire that floated toward nearby vessels. To crews trained in standard shipboard firefighting, this behavior defied physical laws. Throwing water onto the flames only spread the burning oil, carrying the fire across the decks. Later, medieval writers claimed that only sand, vinegar, or urine could suppress the chemical reaction, but early chroniclers make no mention of these remedies working in practice. Faced with an unquenchable blaze, panic quickly dissolved defensive formations, turning the psychological terror of the weapon into its most effective combat asset. In 674 AD, the Umayyad Caliphate launched a massive maritime blockade of the imperial capital, initiating a 5-year struggle that became the first extended test of the empire's naval defense. Byzantine commanders deployed their incendiary-equipped galleys to repeatedly disrupt the blockade. While exact casualties are impossible to verify, medieval chroniclers reported that the attacking fleet suffered catastrophic losses over years of continuous skirmishes, forcing an Arab retreat in 678 AD. An even larger test arrived in the summer of 717 AD, when another massive armada besieged the capital. Emperor Leo III took command of the city's defense, ordering his ships to launch decisive night actions against the blockade lines. Byzantine vessels projected the liquid fire directly into the crowded enemy formations, turning the Bosphorus into a sheet of flame. Chroniclers from both sides recorded staggering devastation. Historically reported claims from Byzantine and Arab writers suggest that of the estimated 1,800 enemy ships, only a handful survived the campaign. These prolonged engagements proved that the weapon was the decisive factor in Byzantine naval defense, repeatedly breaking blockade pressure and ensuring the survival of Constantinople under overwhelming maritime pressure. To secure this military monopoly, the Byzantine Empire classified the chemical recipe as a state secret of the highest order. Revealing any part of the formula carried a mandatory death penalty. To prevent leaks, no single individual held the entire design. Complete knowledge of the weapon was restricted to the ruling dynasty and a tiny circle of trusted imperial officials. Actual production of the liquid took place exclusively inside a single, heavily guarded workshop within the Great Palace of Constantinople. The artisans worked in absolute isolation, transmitting technical details strictly by word of mouth. By forbidding written records of the ingredients and proportions, the imperial administration prevented the secret from being captured or leaked. This extreme system of compartmentalization successfully protected the empire for centuries, but it also created a permanent silence. Without written manuals, the formula remained locked within a human chain, destined to vanish forever the moment that custody chain was broken. Modern scholars have spent decades analyzing medieval accounts to reconstruct this lost mixture. The prevailing scientific consensus points to a crude petroleum or naphtha base, potentially thickened with pine resins and sulfur. Some hypotheses suggest adding quicklime to trigger an exothermic reaction, or saltpeter to supply oxygen. In 2002, a controlled demonstration by a chemistry team proved that a pressurized mixture of naphtha, oil, and quicklime would ignite instantly upon contact with water. However, no modern recreation has successfully matched every recorded historical characteristic. These scientific experiments exist solely to understand the chemical capabilities of the past, not to resurrect an active incendiary weapon. To maintain safety and prevent weaponization, researchers explicitly refuse to publish usable recipes or precise ratios. The modern quest to understand liquid fire remains strictly academic, seeking only to solve an ancient engineering puzzle. Subscribe to our channel to explore more of history's greatest technological mysteries. On May 29, 1453, Mehmed II's Ottoman forces breached the Theodosian walls, bringing a definitive end to the Byzantine Empire. Emperor Constantine XI died fighting amidst the chaos on the battlements, and the imperial Great Palace fell to the conquerors. Within the palace ruins, the state-controlled workshop was destroyed, and its custodians, the sole keepers of the secret formula, were killed or scattered. Because the recipe was never committed to writing, the living chain of oral transmission broke instantly. The technology perished with its creators. After defending the empire for nearly 8 centuries, Greek fire vanished into history, remaining one of the ancient world's unresolved secrets. We live in an age of near-total information, yet Greek fire remains a closed door. It stands as a chilling reminder that scientific progress isn't always linear, and that some secrets, once lost, are gone forever. Subscribe for more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries.